Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is Abhishek from Accelarize Networks, and today we have, our fifth session of interviews, the voice of founders, and we have today's guest, Mr. Achin Puri, the co-founder and CEO of Accelarize, with us. In discussion with Ms. Vandna Negi, she is one of the co-founder of Accelarize Network. So the whole idea of running these kind of sessions, to interact and know more about the founders and the other people of the startup ecosystem, because I believe like discussions should have, some results out there. So a lot of people are networking in this era of digitization. So let me brief you about Achin. Achin is a co-founder and CEO of Catalyze. And Catalyze is a marketplace for personal and professional development services, right? Achin was a part of, some of the corporates like Google and Accenture. He has worked with Birla Group as well, so he has a quite a good experience. And I was just talking to him. He started his career in 2000, and amazingly, in year 2000, I was just I passed my 10th class itself. So the kind of experience he's carrying with him. So that is something amazing, right, with Achin. And I would like to call upon this stage Mr. Achin Puri, the co-founder and CEO of Accelarize. Hi, Achin, how are you?
Hi, Abhishek. I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I think your camera is off, so you can switch on your camera.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, great. So you're visible now. And I would like to call Vandna as well. Hi, Vandna.
Hi Abhishek, hi Achin. Thank you for
Yeah.
the
Hi.
warm welcome, Abhishek.
Great. So I will hand over the program over to you, right? You because you are the host for the day, and I believe that we are gonna having a great discussion out here
Absolutely.
with Achin, and people gonna uh, having so much takeaway with his experience and all. So good to go.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, hello everybody, this is Vandna Negi. I'm the co founder and head of investor relations at Accelarize Networks. I welcome you all to our Founders, Voice of Founders session today. We have been bringing inspiring and success stories of founders who have made large with their hard work, perseverance, and long term vision through our Voice of Founders series. Today, we are in conversation with an entrepreneur, Achin Puri. He's a co founder and CEO of Catalyze, a marketplace for personal and professional development services. Achin took entrepreneurship with a vision to help people to take charge of their lives and come out of their victim mode. He loves to see people grow from co-independence to independence to further interdependence. Interesting. Welcome, Achin. It's a pleasure having you here at our fifth episode of Voice of Founders. We are looking forward to a super interesting session with you.
Thanks for such a nice introduction. Um, Thank you for the welcoming.
Right. So, but before we begin our session, I would request all the attendees to keep posting your questions into the chat box, and we will ensure that your questions are answered during the session. Let's move ahead and begin our discussion. So, Achin, looking back at your journey, I see there have been a lot of highs and lows, and you must have these things must have taught you a lot about business mindset, corporate world, and entrepreneurship at large. So
Right.
it's been an exciting journey for you from working in a corporate world for over 18 years with brands like Google, Accenture, Birla, Ola, etc., to giving up a high-paying corporate job and kicking off your entrepreneurial journey. So here, we would like to know what inspired you to take such a decision and become an entrepreneur. We all have gathered here to celebrate your success and learn from your experience. So
Sure.
let's get started without any further delay. So
Sure. Absolutely.
over to you.
So, yeah. Thanks for asking that question. I think that's a very interesting question because every entrepreneur kind of has a turning point, and this is what I and Abhishek were discussing yesterday. So, I was actually thinking of becoming an entrepreneur at least 5 years before taking the leap. And I had been toying with different ideas, and somehow the alignment with my values wasn't coming through. Then one day I started working with what I used to call as my dream company, right? There was free food there was free office commute there was free international vacations there. There are annual gifts, annual parties, with live kind of best singers from the country. And there were a number of freebies and they were kind of unlimited. You can think of a freebie and that was available there. Now, let's come to the work. So I was part of the team that was like an internal consulting team to a very large operations team. Just that, unlike consulting, there was no promoter to support and sponsor the initiatives for my team. So we were fully dependent upon regular operations team. That was a huge one, and on the other's hand, they saw us like outsiders. So my work was pretty complex within an already complex and large operations team, but without support from people, I could have done nothing.
Right. Absolutely.
People were scared of exposing their shortcomings to others. Ultimately, people there were like, anywhere else, period. So when I saw that people were like any other place, and people were trying to always hide what they were not vulnerable enough, and they were always fearful that something will come out, that they don't want to expose,
Right.
right? So that kind of proved me that all the people all the time are trying to break through their fears, and I was just trying to break through people's fears, and I was not doing anything that was constructive. I can help people who want to change, but attempting to change someone who doesn't want to change and has no skin in the game is a fool's
Right.
game. This made
Absolutely.
me this made me realize that there is something in the word dream job that I'm not able to understand, or that maybe I am crazy. I started to self-doubt myself,
Right.
right? And the more I was praised by the external world, which included my immediate family, the people in my society, people I was interacting with, my school friends, my college friends, the more I lost my confidence. Because everybody used to say and praise the fact that I'm working with such a big dream company, and I was kind of distraught from inside. The biggest issue was that I was not able to share this with anyone. I was not able to tell people that I was not enjoying, that I was not performing, and in fact, I was hating what I was doing. Now, this made me realize the value of looking inward, finding out what you really want, and I wanted to do something in that particular direction. That is the main why behind founding Catalyze. Now, Catalyze is a platform that helps someone look inward and find out what they want to do, rather than just going by the general templates in the world that say that this is your dream job, this is your dream company, this is a company that provides all kind of freebies. But that is one aspect of it. But a much more important aspect is what you really want to do in your life. And
Right.
that is where when I thought that even when the dream company, which most of the people call as their dream company, is also very similar to other companies, and the only thing that is a variable now is, have I looked inside and found out what I want to do? And so that is when that was a turning point in my life, and that is the why behind Catalyze. And Catalyze, it is a platform that provides one-on-one life coaching and has numerous personal and professional development programs for people. They're all aimed at helping people take charge of their own lives, figure
Right.
out what they really want within themselves, and then any company or any place can be heaven for them. Any job and any role can be a dream job and dream role for them. In fact, I did much better in companies that were not supposed to be that kind of a dream company, but that had much better culture. So that's what I realized.
That's true, Achin. Excellently brought forward. Here, I would like to highlight that around 70% of the people in the world are under a victim mindset, where they blame their circumstances and the people around them for their misery, instead of accepting and taking the charge of the situation and finding a way out. So, as a life coach and a personal development trainer, what's your opinion here? How that can be altered?
I think the biggest thing is the mindset, right? If as a person you think that you are not able to grow because you have a lot of constraints,
Right.
but what comes out is that you have certain kind of mindsets, you have certain kind of limiting beliefs that are actually the impediment to your growth, and that is why you're not getting what you actually want to get. So if
Absolutely.
you look inward, you find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. You see what is beneficial for you and what is, what is your strength and what is your weakness. And then a particular role, what does it actually require? What are your values? Does it match with the company values? If you figure that out, then you know that you can go to a particular place where you can grow exponentially, and you don't so you don't require a brand that will call you that you can call out as a dream company or a dream job, but you will be happy from inside.
Absolutely. Interesting. And a lot of young entrepreneurs go through such experiences, and how they convert these challenges into the opportunities is what makes them
Absolutely,
successful. So,
absolutely.
excellent. So, moving ahead with our discussion, my next question is around the right attitude. Since you mentioned the mindset, so my next question is around the right attitude, since it plays a key role in decision
Mhm.
making. And entrepreneurship is all about strong decision making. So,
Right.
what kind of attitude and entrepreneurial mindset one should have to become a successful leader?
I think so. There are the two things that you asked. One is the what uh,
Attitude.
what attitude you want, and successful leader. So I think uh, the leader is another branch in which I would say that there are many kinds of leadership that people can perform, uh, but I think the attitude is kind of different for decision making versus leadership. Now let's say I am an entrepreneur. The first thing I have to realize is that I have to have a very clear expectations from what is coming forward.
Right.
The first expectation is that not everything is going to be as good as it seems from outside, right? You have to experiment a lot, and maybe then you will get some success, maybe not. So once you have clear that it is not easy to be an entrepreneur, that the failures are going to be a part of it, you've understood that, then the failures, when they come, you will only see them as opportunities to grow rather than giving up your entrepreneurial journey and going somewhere else. The
Right.
second important attitude I say, and Daniel Goleman says that blame yourself for your own selfish reasons, right? So if you go in a particular situation and you start to blame others or the circumstances for what has happened, then you will never grow. You have to blame yourself and say that last time I went to this person, and now I've understood that this person is not the right person to go. Maybe I should have gone to this person and then put my point. Maybe I should have worn this particular dress. Maybe I should have presented it like that. Maybe I should have prepared in advance, and so I could have gone to the next step. The moment you start to blame yourself, you start to correct yourself, you start to look inwards, and you see what is it that you can improve. So I think one thing is that rather than blaming others, take responsibilities of your own behavior, and the second thing is have expectations that failures will come no matter what.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to work on it in order to become successful in your entrepreneurial journey, and in order to achieve the goal that you want in your life.
Absolutely,
You need to be focused. You need to be target. You need to be receptive of things. So,
absolutely.
Achin, considering the current scenario where the world is becoming digital and people are working from home, what skill set do you think is required for carrying out your own business beyond 2020, if I say?
Uh, I think it is not only my business, but I think in general, the biggest, I think the unsuccessful person or the uneducated person of the future would be the person who would be inflexible,
Absolutely.
right? So if you I'll give you an example. We started with one-on-one coaching only, right? And when the pandemic hit, we realized that one-on-one coaching is an expensive product and people are not really willing to buy that particular product. We quickly moved on to a we quickly kind of brought our services into different products. We had a career transition program. We have a how to be a TEDx speaker program. We have a stress reduction program. We had a job hunt program. So we kind of productize all of these things, and we created group coaching kind of product, which is a completely different product from a one-on-one coaching where the focus is only you. But here the focus is the entire group, and so the entire price goes down. There is a need of the hour, of course. So there was a need, and then we brought down the price point, and then we also introduced some concepts of um, number of I would say pre-recorded sessions. So whatever sessions they used to talk to people about, those become pre-recorded, and we kind of launched something which was really, really low price, like 1/10 of the price, and with more kind of structured content around it, aimed at a particular level. And we also realized that coaching is not a word that is very popular. So let's use the word that people are familiar with. People know that there is a career they have to transition. People know there is a TEDx, TEDx platform
Platform.
where they can speak. So we let us do something which connects with them at the same time, which is priced much lower and it meets people's aspirations.
Right, great work done. I must congratulate you here.
Yeah.
So, Achin, as we know, every entrepreneur wants to create a positive impact in the society and the world outside. So, if you had to come up with three words that to describe the impact that you want to create with Catalyze in the
Mhm.
outside world, what would they be?
Uh, so I think the the first word is going to be respect for the diverse, or first phrase is respect for the diverse viewpoint, right?
Uh,
So the diversity does not only lie in your uh, gender or your ethnicity or country or religion, but it lies in the point of views. If somebody thinks that this is what works for them, then that has to be accepted, and
right,
then only somebody should move forward. Like our coaches come from varied background. We have a coach in Singapore, we have a coach in so in different parts of the country, but we don't look at where they come from. What we do is we look at how much value they can add to people in respective fields. The second thing I'll say is psychological safety.
mm,
Now, in my own, yeah, so in my own, which is just an opposite of insecurity, right? So in my own life, when I was a child, I was just like, I was from a very, uh, I would say, a humble background. My father used to work with a bank, and my mother was a person who could make relationship with a lot of our relatives and dad's friends and everybody. And so we always used to have a lot of cousins and relatives, visiting our house, or we were visiting their houses, some birthday parties. We used to play cricket with the cousins, for hours together, right? And then, my I remember my uh, paternal uncle used to come and teach me how to ride a scooter, right? So these are all very kind of small things that actually make you very comfortable and make you very secure from inside, and this
right,
gives you a lot of psychological safety. So the moment you think that you're safe, you actually are safe. The moment, and whenever you feel that you are insecure about something, the universe actually works for you and gets you what you are scared of. Say if you want to manifest something, get scared of it and it will come in your life. So the so psychological safety is something that
agree.
I will say as a second word. And the third thing I'll say is coaching. And the reason for coaching is, and I'm not saying coaching as a profession, but coaching as a behavior, right? So if I see that an employee of mine or a coach of mine or a customer is having a particular mindset, rather than pushing the person to change immediately because I think the person should change, if I kind of coach the person, ask the right questions, the leading questions, and make the person reflect and think himself or herself, the person comes out naturally with the solutions,
Right,
right?
right.
And that is when it is more empowering. The person takes up initiatives on his or her own, rather than being pulled over.
Absolutely, absolutely. Completely agree with you. And the point that you beautifully put together around broadening your horizon, networking, and
Right.
reflecting on your actions. It's very important for anybody
Right.
to grow and to be a good person in life. Completely agree on
Absolutely.
that. So,
Absolutely.
Ajay, having worked in corporate for over 18 years, almost 2 decades, what values do you think every organization should instill in their employees?
Um, I think the again I will say psychological safety, because if people are feeling unsafe in a particular environment, then the only thing that will happen is that the entire organization will suffer. People will not come out with the actual pain areas, and things will never get resolved, and we will always find fight between different insecurities. The arguments will be more rampant rather than resolving them by helping people.
Right,
Yes.
right. So, on that note, I want to ask you, how important do you think employee centricity is in any organization?
So, employee centricity is definitely important, but I think what employees are looking for is respect for their viewpoints. They should be heard. They should feel that they are contributing. They are
Absolutely.
heard, right?
Absolutely.
And once that happens, then it is, and then when they're heard, then they don't have these kind of insecurities and other things. That kind of course, employee centricity is a very important thing.
Right, right. Fantastic, fantastic. So, employee centricity, I agree that it's crucial for organizations' growth
Right.
and development. And the
Even
focus, also the focus on human concerns and interactions,
absolutely,
it directly leads to employee productivity. And
absolutely,
it actually empowers them to make strong decisions in their professional career.
right,
Right,
right. So
right,
you asked me 3 points. I spoke about psychological safety. You also spoke about the employee centricity, which I completely agree with. I'll also say, self-love and integrity are other values that are kind of important. When I say
right.
self-love, they have to take care of their. This is what I liked about my dream company, that it gave opportunity to self-love. There was a gym, there was uh, you know. Um, yoga room,
Right.
etc. So you could have gone and done your meditation or pranayam or yoga. You can do your gymming. Then there used to be many wellness kind of camps, many wellness challenges, etc. So that is kind of self-love. When you spend time on yourself, is only when you can give it to others, including the organization.
Absolutely agree. I do completely agree that you need to take some time out and do your recreational activities
Absolutely,
and rejuvenate yourself so that you can work
absolutely.
better in the better environment. Perfect. So, Achin, since you are life coaching and career trainer and also a speaker, how do you deal with conflicts in your personal life?
I think, see, I can give a step-by-step approach, but that is not going to be helpful for anyone, right? No, but I'll say the first and foremost thing is that acknowledge that there is a conflict,
Right.
right? And along with the acknowledgement of the conflict comes the expectations. Conflict can take hours, days, weeks, or even months, and sometimes the conflict may not get resolved.
Right.
So that expectation has to be very clear in your mind. uh, Second thing is, do not try to control others' behavior. How others are going to speak to you, how they are going to behave in a particular situation is something that you cannot control of, and you have to let it happen as it happens. You cannot get, I also don't get fixated on a specific outcome, right? So, I don't say that this is, rather I listen to people and explore the issue with an open mind, and that is only when a open outcome kind of comes out. And then there is a specific the love and attachment to a particular outcome kind of stops you from resolving the conflict, and it in fact increases the conflict a lot.
Right. Right.
Next thing I think is keep I keep calm. Some of the people who are really close to me say that they have never seen me angry, or they've never seen me in agitated situations. uh, so that's a compliment that I really cherish. um, and then listen with an intent to solve the problem rather than proving yourself to be better than others.
Right.
So I think if that happens, then people get some kind of a comfort that the person is really listening and not trying to prove a point, and that is helpful in resolving any conflict.
Absolutely, that's fantastic approach, and I think we all should try doing this because first you need to identify where the problem is.
Right.
Find the first identify your pain point, and then try to diagnose it. Plus, listen to others' perspective too.
Absolutely.
That's what you mentioned earlier. Completely agree on that. So, Achin, along your professional journey, what is the greatest lesson you have learned throughout your life so far that you would like to share with young entrepreneurs today?
I think the biggest lesson that I have learned is the desirable difficulty kind of a lesson. And this is something that has come to me many times in my life. Say, for example, when I was in my family, there was no engineer before me, right? So I took it as a and money was a constraint, right? I mean, I would not say that we could not eat, but we got what we needed to survive, but we never had any luxury with us, right? So there was always a intent from inside that I will do something, I will achieve something which will help me take care of money for a long time. And at that time, engineering was something that could have done it for me. So I took it as a desirable difficulty, and I crossed that difficulty rather than seeing it as a constraint. It became that nobody is an engineer. How would I do that? I kind of crossed that because I could take it as a challenge. And then again, when I was working with my first company was Infosys, and when I was working there, only a handful of the people out there actually wanted to move out into something which is more risky. So I went and did my MBA, which even most of the people who wanted to do that, they actually did not do it, but they kept on having different reasons that now the economy is down, MBA is very expensive, it's a risk. I'm already earning something. Why would I lose that? So I did not take that uh, as an impediment. Rather, went ahead and did my MBA because I thought that after I got some initial money, I thought it is more important to get satisfied than to stick to the things that are like what everybody is sticking to. So I think desirable difficulty. I have whenever I got desirable difficulty, and I think the episode that happened with me, that was a turning point for me to join entrepreneurship, was also a desirable difficulty. That when that difficulty came, I have taken it as in my stride, and rather than cribbing over it, I kind of came out and opened up something that would help a lot of other people come out of such situations. So and take charge of their lives. So I think converting difficulties into opportunities and seeing them as desirable difficulties is something that my biggest lesson is. That is how the universe tells you that you are going in the wrong direction, and I will tell you all of these things which will give you the right direction. So take it like that, and that's my lesson for kind of everyone.
Rightly said and beautifully put together, Achin. And here, I would also like to add, self-evaluation is
Mhm.
critical to your personal and professional success, and you would know as a trainer and as a life
Absolutely,
coach. So,
absolutely.
how entrepreneurs can do an honest evaluation of themselves?
I think as an employee, somebody can hide behind different things, but entrepreneurs cannot do that. Any
Absolutely.
mistake that they commit will directly impact them, right? So the first and foremost thing is the entrepreneur who is not flexible to change is the most uneducated entrepreneur. The entrepreneur that wants to change and is flexible enough to take up anybody's point, join together the points and change, is the entrepreneur who is going to be successful and lead in this particular century, because
Right.
now it's all about changes. The changes have become very dynamic. If you don't take them, then you are the as I say, the uh, rigid people would be the most uneducated, would be the next uneducated people,
Right.
right?
Right.
So as an entrepreneur, I think flexibility is something that is key now. You have to be flexible. You have to listen to people. You have to understand what they're saying, and then connect the dots to come up with something that is interesting. Now, if you want me to put it into something more uh, structured, then I would say uh, the business modeling, right? Uh, so when people start up their business, they need to solve a few problems. The first problem being, what is the problem that they are solving? And that has to be very clear in your mind. Are you solving the problem of mobility, or are you solving the problem of giving a car, or are you solving the problem of status? Because Uber is doing same similar thing, Maruti is doing similar thing, and BMW is doing similar things, but they're solving different problems, right? So once you know what your problem is, then you come out with a product that actually helps serve that particular customer segment who's facing this particular problem, right? And then the next thing is, what is the business model based on which this particular problem will get solved effectively. Like Thumbtack has a different business model, Urban Clap has a different business model, Housejoy has a different business model, while being in the similar industries, and they're solving actually some different parts of the problem, and and different parts will get resolved by experimenting on different business models. So, having finding out the what problem you're solving, for whom are you solving that problem, how can you solve it, and what business model will work for it, are like, these are the points where you need to be flexible
Right.
and understand how it'll actually work in reality.
Absolutely, absolutely. Understanding the problem and the solution that you're providing, doing an honest evaluation of that, and evaluating your idea, then preparing the business model or the business plan, then deciding on your
Right.
business structure and the approach that you want to take. It's very important for any entrepreneur before starting or before kicking off your entrepreneurial journey.
Right. I'll give you an example. I studied some five or six startups in this exactly the same space that have come, that are either already existing or they've already failed in the past. And when I studied them, I realized that the business model that they were working on was the only thing that was not working. I
Absolutely.
realized that the business model they were having was of commission-based business model does not work here. What works here is a subscription-based business model with the coaches. Uh, what another thing I figured out was that they gave up pretty quickly. So rather than kind of experimenting with different business models, experimenting with different products for different kind of people, they gave up pretty quickly, and that is how they perished. So I'm trying to be more flexible and coming out with different solutions in different areas to figure out how the survival can be, how we don't not only survive but thrive.
Right. So, talking about the survival and thriving, considering the current scenario when most of the businesses are struggling due to COVID slowdown, what is your suggestion to young entrepreneurs here?
Yeah, I think the as I said, flexibility is something that is given to entrepreneurial world, and more so in the post-COVID world.
Right.
If you Yeah, and you have to have that mindset that I will have to experiment a lot many number of times, and only some of them will succeed, is something that will be very useful. If you think that you do one thing, uh, and within a week you will get a result, that may not happen. So you have to keep trying different things. Some of them will work, some of them will not. uh, and then you have to be very flexible even with different kind of, you have to keep tweaking different things, so that finally you come out with something that is useful. And
Right.
you have to have the grit. You may not get a result instantly. You will have to, uh, based on the friends who are actually entrepreneurs, uh, and based on my own experience, I think 2 to 5 years is the minimum time frame when you can expect a company to move from survival to thriving zone. For the first 2 to 5 years, you have to struggle and you have to figure out how things will work. Less than that, if you are doing something, you're simply copy pasting something, and that may not even work for a longer time.
Right, rightly put together. And it's a fantastic approach, and I completely agree that in this scenario you need to embrace change. You need to
Right.
be more embracing, and you need to be flexible. Flexibility is very much required in any kind of business or any kind of work that you're doing. Otherwise, you won't. It would be really difficult for you to thrive in such a changing scenario.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, Achin, you would agree that tech startups are booming around the world and contributing to the strengthening of global startup ecosystem. So,
Right.
since you are also an active entrepreneur and a life coach, how important do you think human touch and human emotions are in this technology driven digital world?
I think, I mean, if we are doing something for humans to buy, then we have to have that kind of a human touch,
Right,
right? Having said that, the product, the first thing is that uh, technology cannot solve everything even now. There is only a limit to which technology can solve, and of course, human touch is going to be going to remain important. And even if you are making something from technology standpoint, you have to make it so humane that that human beings with normal, IQ and normal intelligence can actually go and do the work in a way that it helps them solve the problem.
right,
So human being, the touch point being human, and the product should have the psychological thought process uh, behind making that particular product. So, say for example, if I'm talking about life coaching only, right? So there is a human touch in the sense that you have one-on-one life coaching,
right,
right? At the same time, in the group coaching also there is a human touch, right? But we also have some pre-recorded sessions which are only for getting the information beforehand, so that and giving them the questions that they can work upon themselves, so that it becomes affordable also. So it is
right,
affordable for the people. So whatever your customer is expecting in terms of pricing, that should be achieved. At the same time, there's a human touch also, so that there is a confidence that if I get stuck, it'll get resolved by somehow by
right.
people.
Right. So here I would like to ask one question. So, like I said, considering the current scenario, what are the challenges Catalyze has faced as a company, and how did you overcome those challenges?
So I think so. Let me first tell you what Catalyze is.
Right.
So Catalyze is a marketplace for personal and professional development programs. As I said, we have uh, programs in the career field, in the uh, personal field, in the aspirational field as well. We also have one-on-one coaching. So now the challenge that we see is that there is a huge demand. A lot of people now have realized that there is a need for change. A lot of people have realized that mental well-being is equally important as physical well-being. So having said that, the masses is now looking for a very affordable kind of a solution,
Right.
right? And the most affordable solution we have is again for the most affordable that we have is also not for the masses. So it is for somebody who is at least a graduate, and with a few years of experience, 5, 10 years of experience, you got some kind of a money and the mindset to actually spend on that kind of a product. So that is the first challenge we see, that the product to make for the masses, somebody that something that is like 500 or 700 rupees, but that can bring lot of help to people, but it is so affordable that people can simply go for it. The second challenge that we face is the trust. So a lot of people don't know what coaching is. A lot of people don't know what looking inwards will help them with, right? So people are not able. So only once they know will they be able to appreciate and be able to spend that kind of a money on coaching or developmental products. So if you talk about a car, right? Even though car is much more expensive than a service like coaching, but it gives you a status. It gives you, Maruti for so many years that you don't have to worry about its brand. Car works like everybody tells you. Your friends have told you, your parents have told you, your brothers, sisters, everybody has told you that a car works and this is how it works. The entire world knows about it. So the awareness is so high that even if it is priced high, people are ready to buy that. Everybody knows that house is the most expensive thing that they will buy, and that the rentals are nowhere close to any interest that they would pay, but there's an emotional attachment to it. There is a value associated with the house, but the value of looking inwards has not come up in people's minds. So the awareness of how important and nice it could be to know yourself is something that is still unknown. So creating that kind of an awareness is actually a challenging task for us. How do we create awareness that people are ready to spend with us that kind of a money?
That's right. That's right. Completely agree with you. And I must congratulate you on the way you have dealt with the problem that you have faced throughout this journey and solving the real problem. So we always say when you are kicking off your entrepreneurial journey, try to solve a big problem, a real problem in
Right.
the real world, so that you will be able to help people and you will be able to make
Absolutely.
an impact. And that would help you in becoming successful. People would come with
Right.
you and they will buy your product and go along with your journey.
Absolutely.
Perfect, perfect.
Good point, Varna. And as a very Naveen Jain, he's a very successful entrepreneur in US, and what he says is, uh, if you want to become a big person, then think like how many people are you helping?
Right.
If you're helping 100 people, 1 million people, 100 million people, 10 billion people, and that is what will decide how much rich you are.
Absolutely. How many lives are you changing? It
Absolutely,
has an impact. Perfect. So,
absolutely.
Achin, we would like to know what are your future plans for Catalyze?
So we keep experimenting on different formats. Now we are coming up with another format called the micro programs. Now the micro programs will have a different marketing strategy. So the micro programs would be like bite-sized learning. When we talk about career transition, now the career transition or a leadership program, we'll come up with bite-sized kind of lessons with people. We'll ask engaging exercises. So these things will become, very somebody can learn really easily and then get engaged through exercises, and then there'll be more, and then it'll be touch free, right? So there'll be no human intervention here. But if somebody wants to kind of see a coach, then that is something that they can always upgrade their program to, right? So we are coming up with these micro programs that
Fantastic.
are going to be touch free, very easy to learn. Anybody can just go, listen to those lessons, do those small exercises. We're breaking down those tough exercises of looking inwards into very micro exercises, that you know what you are without actually stressing yourself out. So in a very light touch kind of a way, you will do all of these things, and you come out with something. So that's the
Fantastic.
kind of
Fantastic.
program we are working on right now.
Perfect. Perfect. So, we are now progressing towards the last leg of our session. So, any cheat code you would like to share with our entrepreneurs on growth hacking?
Growth hacking.
Yeah.
I think the only way to grow as an entrepreneur is develop within yourself. First, you develop yourself, and then you develop your people. You develop yourself, then you develop your people, and that is how you can collectively, grow as a company. Company grows only when your people grow, and everybody grows when you grow, when you can see
Absolutely.
what is right and what is wrong. So. That is my take. You have to invest a lot in self growth. Only then you can grow as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You need to invest in yourself too,
Absolutely.
not just in your money. You need to invest in yourself. Then only you'll be able to invest financially and have a strong background or a finance. So, Achin, on a personal note, what keeps you motivated? What inspires you?
So I have a dream, and my dream is that. So let me tell you the problem that I'm talking about with my dream to solve. So the problem is that a lot of people, I know that I was very well supported at my family in terms of love and a safety net and everything, but I was heckled at work. So maybe a lot of other people, they may be having troubles in their family, and then they are very happy in their professional life. Some people may have lost something in their businesses, etc. So people kind of are in victim mode in some place or the other, right? So my dream that I want people to take charge of their lives is what keeps me motivated. And my goals, I keep making intermittent goals. Like I have one goal of micro programs. The other goal I have is um kind of make a gamification of the coaching product. So these are the goals which are my, I would say, which keep me moving. So the dreams keep you motivated, but motivation doesn't only help. You have to have goals so that you keep moving towards your goals and achieve your
Absolutely,
dreams.
absolutely, absolutely. You need to keep your goals. You need to set your milestones so that
Right.
you can keep a track of what you want to achieve in life, how to go about it, where you are standing today, where you want to go, and what route you need to take in order to reach that place. It's very
Absolutely.
important. It's very important. Excellent. It's an absolute pleasure to know you, Achin, here. And I would like to congratulate you on developing such a great platform and helping people in their personal and professional life, developing them and
Oh,
polishing them. It's very important. And the work you're doing, it's commendable.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Great. So let's call on Abhishek if you
Yeah,
have any questions.
yeah, it was really nice listening you, Achinji. And I believe the attendees and the listeners, those who are actually listening us, and those who will listen us through our YouTube channel, they will also have a lot of takeaways. And one thing I am taking from this session, which you just told, that it is very important to train yourself and train others. So,
Right.
coaching plays a very important role and vital role in every entrepreneur's life, and that is what actually we all need to understand, that at one point of time we all need coaches, right? And that is the great work has been done by Catalyze out there, right? So I believe that we keep doing some more sessions with you, some more expert sessions on coaching and
Sure.
entrepreneurial journey and helping the ecosystem. So I would say thanks to you and wishes to Catalyze team for their future. And
Thank you.
anyways, if Accelarize network can help you, so we are always there, right?
Sure. Thank you so
Absolutely,
much. Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a refreshing session with you today. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and a lot of takeaways for me too.
Right.
Sure.
And I
Sure.
would also like to thank all the attendees and all the listeners for their time. So, this is Abhishek. We are winding up for today, and we will get back to you soon. Keep in tune, and because there are a lot of sessions would be coming in with a lot of founders. Thank you.
Right. Thank you all for
Thank
attending
you.
today's event.
Yep.
You have been wonderful audience. Have a great day. Bye bye.